Hello punters and welcome back to another Saturday racing preview. Of course, in this video looking at the Caulfield meeting tomorrow, Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes Day. Terrific program. Obviously, not much needs to be said now. Every single Saturday from here on out, it's got terrific racing in store. So we're really looking forward to this program and obviously the next few weeks as well. I'm really getting quite excited. We're only a few months away from some of the real top racing that we see on our calendar year with the Everest. Also got obviously the Caulfield Cup, the Cox Plate, the Melbourne Cup. Really looking forward to all that. The Caulfield Guineas, terrific race days, not far away from those. So looking forward to getting stuck into them. If you are new here, please obviously subscribe on the video. I would really appreciate that. Obviously getting quite close to the 100 subscribers now. Really exciting, and I appreciate every single one of you that have subscribed to the videos so far. Make sure you put the notifications on in case you want to see these videos every single week before Saturday racing. Seems to be now that I'm finding myself in this Friday night time slot now. It seems just to be the way it is fitting in with some of my other commitments that I've got going on, but I really do enjoy doing it nonetheless. So basically, if you are new here, we go through the program, I have a look at all each race, look at all the chances, give top four selection, and anything that I quite like at a bit of odds. Obviously, as always, I always enjoy, comment down below any of your thoughts on any of the races, any of your selections that you might want to either ask me about and get my opinion on, or you can either challenge some of my opinions. I don't mind that either. Really do enjoy that. So it's the beauty of this sport. It's why we love it so much. We all get a good say, and it's really a game of weighing up, and there's no certainty to it. It's why it makes it so exciting. So really looking forward to getting stuck in tomorrow. So without any further ado, because I've been dragging some of the videos out recently, I'm going to be getting straight into this one. Obviously, if you haven't already done so, go and check me out on social media as well for all these tips, as well as tips during the week as well. I post almost on a daily basis tips from Victoria, and then some basically about 3-4 days a week for New South Wales, depending on what meetings they've got up there. And then I'll do a couple of tips for around the country on Saturdays and Wednesdays. So go and check me out at @CLane_racing tips on Instagram, and it's CLane Race Tips on Facebook as well. So without further ado, we're going to get stuck straight into the first race of the program at Caulfield. We've got the 8 horses to go around this first race here. Look at the speed map. I think that's Divine Diosa, Cumberbatch will probably roll forward from barriers 8 and 6. I think they might come in actually with the scratching. Sarouge and Celestial Soul, I expect, will probably roll up off the inside barriers and get into prominent positions here. Really tough race to open the program here, actually. I thought this was a pretty hard race to split, and look, I'm not overly keen on Celestial Soul. I'm pretty surprised it's favourite, to be honest. I mean, last start second at Moonee Valley wasn't bad, but to track it generally performs pretty well at. It comes to Caulfield here. I just think that there might be a few other better chances, and I think one of those is number 8, Queen of Rocks. I really like this horse's debut win last time out. It's been knocking on the door, always had plenty of ability. This 3-year-old filly out of by Fastnet Rock. I really liked its win last start. It was $1.45, so it was pretty well expected to do it, but it just let down really nicely. I was given a great ride by William Pike on that occasion. The second prior to best ever reads pretty well as well. So, look, I just think that she could potentially show a bit of improvement here. Third up, she's got a bit of fitness behind her now. She's got that win out of the way, and I think she could be running quite well here. So she goes on top for me. Ahead of number 5, the Prez, who I think is massively over the odds here. Fourth last time out on a heavy track. Look, you could easily put that down to... sometimes the horses just struggle through that heavy track. Prior to that, her form was excellent. She finished a third at Flemington, where she really ran on nicely behind Fatigues and Galactic Fury, and I think that form reads pretty well for a race like this. She's drawn excellently. He's drawn really well towards that outside barrier. But the interesting thing with him is that he's got the new jockey now with Jordan Childs jumping on. So I believe that William Pike rode this last time out, and he's gone with Queen of Rocks. And I think Damien Oliver rode this at one stage as well. Let me just... so Michael Walker rode it first. Michael Walker was the one who rode it. So he's jumped off it. Now, William Pike was on it last start, and he's gone to Queen of Rocks. But regardless, still think it's got a decent enough chance. It goes in for third. In for fourth, I do think number 2, Cumberbatch, is worth a mention. I thought its last start performance in that same race, Celestial Soul and Flash Flood wasn't too fantastic, but did run on pretty nicely. I mean, it only finished a length off there. There was a really obviously tight bunch finish on that occasion. Prior to that, on the bigger track at Sandown, ran really nicely, beating Sarouge, who it meets here again. I think this horse can make some improvement and run well. And talking about Sir Rouge, it's the other one, the horse that I don't mind either. I think, again, you can forgive that run last start at Moody Valley, and coming onto a bit of a bigger track, but more time to wind up in the run. Could see an improvement performance from it. So, look, I'm playing around the favourite here. I just really don't think the $3 is a good price for this horse when I see it as a pretty competitive race. So, I've got number 8, Queen of Rocks, on top, ahead of number 5, The Prez, in for second. In for third, number 2, Cumberbatch, and in for fourth, number 6, Sir Rouge. Moving on to race number 2 on the program now, and it's the 1200 metre Arrowfield Living Legends benchmark 78. And just quickly, I just realised that I jumped straight in, jumped the gun up, but we are racing on a good fought track, so really just might be a bit of rain about, but I don't think it's going to be enough to change the track conditions, so we should be confident in playing a good track by tomorrow. So if anyone playing at home there, look at the speed map here. I'd suggest it's Ancestry and Legionnaire will probably roll forward towards the front. Groundswell and Music Edition won't be too far off, and I think Condo's Express might roll up from the inside barrier as well, get close enough to the speed. Really nice. Again, it's a pretty competitive race here, and look, I was keen to play around the favourite. I think number 7, Legionnaire, is the one to go here. I didn't mind it at odds last start, first up, and I ran a really good race, finished second, just narrowly beaten by Express Pass. Much to my dismay, obviously paid nicely for the place, but it was $21 for the win. It would have been very nice if that booted home, but I think it'll show plenty of improvement off that first up run. Comes into this second up, looks well drawn to get a really good run of the race. Doesn't look to be a stack of speed in it, so I think it'll be quite hard to beat. So it goes on top for me, ahead of number 5, Groundswell, who, his best type of form can easily see him win a race like this. He's been pretty well backed as well. He opened up at a $9 quote. He's now coming to $5, and he's been pretty firm. There obviously has been a couple of scratchings, including Proper Rogue and Testifier, but I suggest a fair bit of that money has still been from betting, not just from the scratchings as well. So, look, he's got a good chance here. I mean, looking back at his form from last preparation, he's got runs behind the likes of Snitz and Dawn Passage. I know he was a long way off Dawn Passage on that occasion, but look, he doesn't have a bad. He breeds pretty well here in a benchmark 78 grade with just the 60 kilos. So he goes in for third for me. In for second. In for third, I've got number 3, Riddle Me That, who I really liked his return run to the racetrack first up in that Express Pass Legionnaire race. So I think we'll derive plenty of benefit out of that run there. So the step up in distance is definitely going to be suitable for this horse, and I think you can expect an improved run from it as well. So it goes in for third for me. Then look, in for fourth, I do think the favourite does have plenty of claims, but I wanted to look around, and I think Ken's Dream, he's well up to winning a race like this. Look, it's been a while since he's run his best type of form, but look, he's got plenty of abilities. We know he loves running here at Caulfield, and he doesn't mind running first up. And I just think he could be ready for a bit of a bold run first up here. He's drawn to get a really nice run in the race here. I think he's going to get a sort of just be off the back of that speed. He usually likes to get back in his runs, but I think they might use some of that speed from those middle barriers to roll him into a prominent position, get him some cover, and roll off from hopefully midfield. And if he could do that, Lockie King, I think he could bring him right into the race, and he could be charging home towards the end. Not the worst chance at the $35. And look, other chances in the race, I do think Condo's Express could improve third up here. Obviously, he's had a couple of nice runs, in the last start performance at Geelong was quite eye-catching. And look, nothing against Ancestry. I think this horse got plenty of ability. Just think might need this first up run. Obviously, some of its better form last preparation came towards the back end of its prep. So I think it may just need this first up run. $3.40 is a bit too short for me. So I'm going to go with number 7, Legionnaire, on top for me. Ahead of number 5, Groundswell in for second. In for third, I've got number 3, Riddle Me That. And then in for fourth, number 1, Ken's Dream. Moving on to race number 3 on the program now, Living Legends over 1,000 metres. For a lot of these horses, obviously got some very different form lines. We've got a couple coming into this race with just the one start for one win. Got a couple in nice form, a couple of good 2-year-olds returning as 3-year-olds running first up here. So plenty of different form lines here to decipher, and it looks a really nice race. So look at the speed map for this one here. I think that Little Town Blues will roll forward at Forever Free. Portland Sky was up towards the pace for its debut win, and I think Frederick the Dane might not be too far off either. Along with Peggy Celine, usually will probably settle in behind that speed though. I don't think it'll be up challenging for the lead. Look, very tough race, this one. I really struggled to split some of these. I think But look, I have landed with number 10, Montesira. It's obviously got the best form coming into this. Had some really good runs as a 2-year-old last preparation. The second in Menage looks quite good. Then obviously went into the Golden Slipper, finished 11th in that race there. But it was right back in that race on that occasion. Then ran on a heavy track at Randwick, so comes back onto a firmer surface here, and I just think first up it could be ready to run a good race here with John Allen in the saddle. Looks to get a perfect run from that barrier, looks to be a fair bit of tempo on, should be able to glide into it. I do think she may need a little bit further, but I just think she'll be hitting the line quite nicely, and she could be right in the finish here at the $4.40. I just think that the best form in the race is the one that I'm going to roll with here, and I just think that she could sprint pretty sharply first up, so she goes on top for me, ahead of number 8, Portland Sky. I know it reads, and you think, Ballarat Synthetic, it's got to bring it to the turf, but that was just such a nice win, beating Barkia. And I just love the way that horse put them away on that occasion. It was really impressive there. The runner-up obviously has run second at Tagaloa in the past, so I mean the form is pretty good around Portland Sky, and I think that this horse could really run a nice race. I expect it to probably tuck in behind the speed, potentially box seat if it can get across to the fence there, or potentially one out, one back, so I like to say in harness racing terms. But this horse could get a really nice run in the race, and at $6.50 definitely could show a lot of improvement and enough to potentially win a race like this. So it goes in for second for me. In for third, look, number 9, Forever Free, obviously 3 from 3 last preparation. Some really nice victories in that as well. The win beating Ranting on a heavy track here at Caulfield from 2 back reads pretty well. Obviously, like I said, perfect last preparation. I know the stable's relatively confident, so definitely got to give it a chance. And Peggy Celine's obviously been in great form. You can't knock the form that she's been in so far, and obviously the last 2 wins at Sandown have been quite good, both over 1,000 metres. They have been on soft tracks, so she does come back on top of the ground, so a little bit of a query there, but has the residual fitness on these, which could be a big thing in this, and she's definitely got a good chance at the $8. I'm a little bit surprised she's actually drifted out a bit from that $6.50 opening quote, but look, yeah, really tough race. Look, even Frederick the Dane got its win last start, has been knocking on the door, been in good form this preparation, could run well. Pioneer River's got some good form from last preparation, including a third behind Larimer Street and Vangelic at Mooney Valley, so that reads pretty nicely. Then went to the Group 1 behind King's Legacy, so yeah, and Valaqueta obviously comes in this first up as well, and another horse who showed a little bit last preparation, particularly the win over the 1,100 metres here at Caulfield last prep. So very tough race. I don't think I'll be betting in this race, to be honest. I've got Montesira on top, but really as a flip of the coin this race here, and I'll be going extremely wide in this leg of the quaddie. Probably could go the whole field, to be honest. I'll give almost all of them a chance. Portland Sky goes for second. In for third, I've got number 9, Forever Free, and in for fourth, number 11, Peggy Celine. Moving on to race number 4 on the program now, and it's over the 1,100 metres. Look at the speed map for this one here. I suggest that From Within, but Dispatch and Front Page will probably roll towards the front. They'll be the speed horses in the race. Fine Dane and Crystal Dream will probably settle not far off the speed either. So Octane, the one of the favourites in this race here, is going to be back in the field, and not sure if it's going to be able to get the tempo to roll into it, but you can't deny how good of a horse it is, and I'm going to be going with it on top because he's just been absolutely sensational so far. I mean, you can't dispute his wins, especially his win last start at Flemington. It was a very eye-catching win. The closing sectionals were exceptional, and he's always had a lot of ability. He was an expensive buy, $1 million buy, and or I could be wrong there, actually. Maybe it was around that 700 gram K mark, but regardless, he was an expensive buy, and being by him invincible. He's got a lot of speed, and he's hit his peak form at the moment. Damien Lane does jump in the saddle last time out, so Jamie Carr took the ride, so I'm not sure if that was a case of her. I think Jamie Carr's suspended for this meeting. I could be wrong, but Damien Lane does take the saddle, obviously very senior jockey and a good jockey at that, so if it can get the tempo, which I'm not 100% sure it will, I'm hoping that maybe one or two more of these horses might roll forward and boot up, but I don't see how he isn't favourite, to be honest. I know Front Page has got a stack of ability, but I think Octane's just got the runs on the board, residual fitness, and could be really hard to beat here. So it goes on top for me. Ahead of number 7, Front Page, who I do really respect. I think this horse will be winning a really good race as preparation. We obviously saw it win a really nice listed race up the straight at Flemington over 1,200 metres. That run, then that win was absolutely phenomenal. But my little query is this horse's best runs have come on sort of soft tracks. So just that little bit of a query first up on a good track, but it is drawn and mapped to get a perfect run in the race, so it should be right in the finish, I would suggest. William Thomas probably hasn't got a bad chance first up here either. I think could catch a couple of these on the hop, especially Front Page, for example. And this horse is very good here at Caulfield. Has had 9 starts to the track for 4 wins and a placing, 4 starts to the distance for 6 starts to the distance for 4 wins. And first up form's been quite good. It's had 3 starts, 5 starts for 3 wins first up. So this horse has got a stack of ability, and you cannot forget that. And this horse has definitely got to have a good chance in the race. $7.50 looks a nice price, and it's pretty well drawn as well. So I think it's a top chance. And look, I'm a little bit surprised with from within's the price it is as well. I just think that this horse last preparation obviously wasn't too flash, but its best form could see it go close here. And $23 first up, I definitely might be having, might be putting her in the quaddie. Sorry. And yeah, just think that in a race like this, not a stack of depth could potentially bounce back and run well, especially from the good draw of barrier number 2. So it will go in for 4th for me. Look, Dispatched doesn't have a bad chance. Obviously, first up run on the at Moonee Valley wasn't a bad run, but it was in strong company behind Bella Vella and Ashlaw, obviously. So coming to a track where it will have a bit more time to get into its work, and stepping out in distance as well will probably help that extra 100 metres for Dispatch. But does have to carry a little bit of weight, but probably isn't a worse chance either. But look, I'm pretty keen to go with number 6, Octane, here in this race. I think it's going to be extremely hard to beat. Ahead of number 7, Front Page for 2nd. In for 3rd, I've got number 3, William Thomas. Then in for 4th, number 4, From Within. Moving on to race number 5 on the program now, and we've got the 1,400 metre benchmark 90 race here, and really competitive race this. I'll really like this one here. I think Sierra Sue will be able to roll across that outside barrier, the second outside barrier to get towards the front. I don't see too many challenges. I think 1,000 Wishes will roll forward. Crease Cliffs will probably look to muster and get into a prominent role, and as will Fabric from an outside barrier, but not a whole lot of pace in this race here. So I think that some of these back markers might struggle to come into the race. So I have gone with some of the horses that will be towards the front half of the field. And one of those is obviously the favourite, number 12, Sierra Sue. But I have worked around it because as good as she has been, she obviously does. This is a big step up for her. She's obviously got to now come to a much better race here. And the form reads okay. I guess Special Snap was only just narrowly beaten on Wednesday at Bendigo. So the form has been pretty good behind Sierra Sue. But look, I'm going to roll with number 10, Palmy here. I think this horse is really well suited to this race here. 3rd up, I loved it last start. 2nd to How Romantic. Almost got it beat it on the line there on that occasion. I think How Romantic's got plenty of ability, and if she was in a race like this, she'd easily be the favourite. So Palmy's got to be a good chance for me here. I really like it. I'm going to have it on top. Ahead of number 12, Sierra Sue, who I do respect. I think she's a pretty special mare, but this is I guess, a big step up in class now. She takes on, some better horses than what she has faced in the past. So she's got to now show it, but she's obviously got a stack for ability. She's had 6 starts in her race start career for 4 wins and a 2nd. So, and she's drawn to get a really nice run in the race. So I don't really see a whole lot pressing her for the lead. So she should be right in it right to the finish. So she obviously has a chance. So she goes for 2nd. If a 3rd, look, 1,000 Wishes has to go in. I'm not sure its form is fantastic. I mean, its last start 2nd to So You Swing, it wasn't bad, and So You Swing it meets here again. Slightly better at the weights here, 1,000 Wishes, which obviously is going to help this horse potentially overturn that margin on So You Swing. But like I said, very similar to Sierra Sue, will be up on the speed, not a whole lot of pace and tempo in the race. So I expect it to be there right in the finish line, so it goes in for 3rd. And then the other horse that I didn't mind as well is number 14, Zoo Sonic, who really ran well first up at Bendigo. I love that run there behind Is the Barman. 2nd up into this race, could definitely see it improving off of that. She's always had a little bit of ability, and that win first up might have just switched her on. So I'm keen to see how she can go. Other chances in the race, I think Red Healer doesn't have the worst chance. Obviously, probably is looking for a little bit further than the 1,400, but Ran some really nice races last preparation, including a nice win at Flemington over the 1,720 metres. So has been some time. This horse hasn't run since the summer, so got to keep that in mind. But I don't think at $17 is the worst chance in the world. And obviously, So You Swing brings in similar form. Once Fabric's got very good second up form. Had a good run first up in that same race behind Palmy. Really hit the line well on that occasion. Just the wide barrier concerns me a little bit, but doesn't look to be a lot of pace in the race, so hopefully Greg Williams will be able to roll it to a decent position. Corey's Cliff's probably a bit over the odds as well. I could forgive that first up run at Caulfield over the 1,200 metres behind Perfect Jewel and Bless Her. Really good form race, that one. So look, yeah, really, again, another very tough race here. Some of these top weights have got the runs on the board, but they're a little bit out of form, whereas you've got some of these ones at the bottom that are in pretty good form, and but don't quite have the type of runs on the board in this race. But look, I have landed with number 10, Palmy. I think it's going to a really nice run the race. Third up looks plenty of ticks in its favour to see it run pretty well here, so it goes on top for me. Ahead of number 12, Sierra Suin for second. In for third, I've got number 13,000 Wishes. Then in for fourth, number 14, Zoo Sonic. So I've gone with most of the horses down the bottom of the race card. Moving on to race number 6 now. It's the first of the quaddie legs, looking at the J. Maloney Stakes over the 1,400 metres. And again, another race for the younger horses here, the 3-year-olds, and looks a pretty strong field as well. Again, it's going to be another hard race. It's one of those meetings tomorrow where there's a lot of them that are pretty hard to split. I think it'll be a pretty tough day tomorrow, punting at Caulfield. So moving on into the speed map, though, of this race. So I think Melba Storm and Mallycorn will probably be up towards the pace. Addersfield won't be too far away, and I think Radil won't be too far, and Hadam, they'll probably be the other ones that'll be towards the speed here. Look, I'm keen to go with Aidensfield here. I really like Muzzy Monster as a horse, but I think Aidensfield's just, it's been at this level and has run well, and I really liked its first up performance where it finished second at Moonee Valley. Ran really nicely. It was just narrowly beaten by Night Raid, who I do really think is a good horse, and I tipped on that occasion. So I think Aidensfield could bounce back here, run a really nice race. Just has to navigate barrier number 12. If it can do so, should be pretty hard to beat for me at the $4. Ahead of number 4, Mozzie Monster, who I really do like her as a horse, and she's been absolutely terrific so far. Her last start win at Bendigo in particular was phenomenal. She's won a combined 7 lengths in her 2 race starts so far, so she's got a fair share of ability, and obviously John Sadler knows what type of horse he's got. And look, the beauty with her is that she's had a win on the heavy, then she went back onto a firm track and did the exact same thing. So she's got a lot of class, and but she's just got to put it together for me. And $3 in a field like this is just that a little bit of a query for me. So she goes in for second. Even third, number 4, Agreeable, I don't think it's a bad price. Last start in that same race by Night Rain Aidensfield. I think it would be a horse that will appreciate getting back to Caulfield. I love that run, 2 starts back behind Bella Nipotina and River Knight. I thought that was a fantastic effort, and I really did mark it down after that as a horse to follow. So Agreeable's got a good chance here for third. And the other one who, look, I really thought this horse was massively over the odds, to be honest, was number 9, A Pinch of Luck. I thought this horse probably has some good claims here. The second last start on the packet of Synthetic by Milton Park wasn't a bad run. Prior to that, finished 4th to Dirty Thoughts and Buonasera. Was the favourite on that occasion, that race, and Dirty Thoughts has been in good form, and Buonasera hasn't really got on with it, but at the time was in some decent form as well. So I just think A Pinch of Luck might just get a decent run here in the race and might be in the finish as well. Other chances in the race, Cafe Rizou, Damien Oliver's in the saddle, and this horse paying $31. I can't really understand what the go is there. You could definitely have something each way on it. I thought its last start performance over the 1800 at Flemington was quite good. Obviously, the step back in distance is a query, but this horse did win over 1500 at the start prior to last. Look, Damien Oliver on board. Wide barrier is obviously a bit tricky, but $31 about a horse that's won 2 in a row is pretty overs to me, especially when the last win was on a Saturday. So again, a horse that's well over the odds, and I thought Silhouette was also massively over the odds. Wouldn't surprise me this horse came out and run a good race first up here either. So some horses at big odds that could be a chance here, and it might be the way to play it. I have gone with number 2, Aidensfield. I'm concerned about that wide barrier and where she's going to be in the run, but I really respect her ability, and she's a very good racehorse, so she goes in on top for me. And then number 4, Mozzie Monster, who she really could be anything, but I want to see her do it first before I could dive into the $3, so she goes in for second. In for third, number 6, Agreeable, and then in for fourth, I've got number 9, A Pinch of Luck, just as a bit of an interest about that horse, because I just think it's got some upside, and might appreciate coming back onto the firmer track off the synthetic from last start. So obviously it has run pretty well so far in its preparation. Moving on to race number 7 on the program now, and we've got the Foundation Cup over the 2,000 metres, and pretty nice race here as well. Look at the speed map. Dr. Drill, I think, will roll towards the top and find the lead. De Beer probably will settle just in behind, I'd suggest. I'm not sure if it'll take Dr. Drill on for the speed. Hacky and Think We're Due probably won't be too far away. They usually like to roll forward in their races as well, so I think they'll be up there somewhere in the lead. And the likes of Kanana and Supergirl and Gaelic Chieftain, they'll be back in the field. Steel Prince, he'll be looking to run on as well. So lots of different form lines and different, I guess, things to take into consideration for this race here. And look, I've gone with number. I do think number 4, Hacky, is over the odds. I haven't got him on top, but I do want to make a mention for him. I think that he's definitely been forgotten about in the market, but I've played around all of the Garter. Look, I have gone number 18, Kanan. I just think that he really wants to get. I'm going to give him one more chance. He obviously wants this 2,000 metres. I like that Chris Wallace has stepped him straight up to this distance range. He hasn't messed about. 1,400, 1,500 metres. The first up runs were obviously way too short for him. I didn't mind him, but so I know he's got a lot of ability, but he's really got to come and put it together now. But at $8, I am willing to play because he has got plenty of ability, and I do think that if he can put it together and he can run well, this is the Melbourne way of going, and he appreciates that step up to the 2,000 metres, which I think he will do. He'll be right in the finish, and $8 for me is a very nice price. So he goes on top for me, right down the bottom of the weights, carrying 55, Mickey D on board, ahead of number 14, Gamekeeper, who ran really nicely last time out, but behind In Good Health. And then prior to that, the third in particular, over the 1,200 metres first up, was phenomenal behind Home in the Brave and Great again. And look, stepping out of 2,000 metres, third up has a excellent third up record of 2 wins from 2 placings. From 2 races, and we'll really appreciate getting out to the 2,000 metres as well. So Gamekeeper goes in for second. I'll be having an each way play on both of those horses there. Number 12, De Beer, was, last start it was absolutely smashed in the betting, and it was just a hard luck story, really. He was on the outside of a horse that just rolled right off the fence and pushed him wide. They were only the 2 leaders in the race, and then all of a sudden Credence and Sound just rolled up the inside and finished over the top of him. He was a good thing beaten that day. I don't think that'll happen this time round. I'm hoping that he'll sit in behind the speed this time round, and he might just be able to tuck up the inside and get a good run of the race. So $12 about him, considering how well he backed he was last time out, is a very, very appealable price. So he goes in for third. Then in for fourth, look, I have put a Hacky in. I'm surprised this horse has drifted out from the $26 price. This horse has got a stack of ability. We saw that last preparation when got out 2,600 metres and beat Vow and Declare and Cinder Win in that race there. I do think it's going to need a bit further, obviously, this horse, but I just wouldn't surprise if he runs a cheeky race at the $41. He's definitely got a chance. And Steel Prince as well. Obviously first up was a little bit disappointing. I was hoping for a little bit more from him, but he's another one who could bounce back stepping out to 2,000 metres as well. So plenty of chances. I've gone around and ordered the Garter. I know this horse has been in some nice form, and the second last time out to Algalao was quite good, and it's a horse that's really knocking on the door for a win, and it wouldn't surprise me if it does go ahead and win. But I just think there's other chances in this race at better odds. I think it's a race that I found a few hard to split, and I just thought going $3.70 about order the Garter just didn't really appeal to me. So I've gone with number 18, Kanan, on top, ahead of number 14, Gamekeeper, and for second, but I could definitely entertain a good each-way play on both of them. De Beer goes in for third, and in for fourth I've got Hacky as just a bit of value at the $41. Moving on to race number 8 in the program now, it is the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes over 1,400 metres. Really looking forward to this race here. It's a terrific edition of it. Looks to be plenty of pace on the race. I think dollar for dollar will roll forward. Be Good to Your Mother will be up there. Akanar Star probably is the inside barrier to be close enough to the run. Banquo usually likes to roll forward. Tagaloa, Age of Chivalry, Runson, Streets of Avalon. They all like to roll towards the front. So I think it's going to be setting it up nicely for some back markers here. And I am going with a bit of a 2-bet play in this. I'm going with number 5, Superstorm, for the Grant and Lana Williams. camp with William Pike in the saddle. I'm going to forgive its first up effort over the 1100 metres. Stepped out to 1400. This horse is going to be much improved stepping out to this distance range. And we know how good this horse is. Obviously, last preparation, finished second in All-Star Mile. He finished second behind Alligator Blood. So the form is really strong for him to suggest he can run well. And look, the race didn't really seem to suit him last time out. That race behind Diamond Effort and Liar. He was always going to just improve off of that run, and I think he's going to really appreciate the step out distance. He's drawn to get a perfect run the race. You can see barrier 18 and you can maybe think, oh, how's that going to work out for him? Well, I can see a stack of speed in this race, and he's just going to be, he's going to peel off the back of that strong speed and potentially finish over the top of him here. So I'm hoping he can do that. So he's got an each way bet from me. And then the other one that I didn't mind as well is number 15, Tagaloa. Obviously, the 3-year-old coming into this race against the older horses. I loved his first up run. He was just narrowly beaten by Mortal Love and Flying Award, who, really good 3-year-olds. He was battling on the speed. He had a really tough run in the race on that occasion. He was one of the only leaders who really stuck on to fight out the finish, and he was only just narrowly beaten. So, look, he obviously loves running here at Caulfield, and I love that first up run. And I just think he's going to be right in the finish here at the 750. I like to see there's been a bit of money for him, so he goes in for second. And then the other horse that I thought this horse was massively over the odds was number 17, Harleck at the $35. I mean, this is a horse that over in New Zealand ran some terrific races and is really good at this distance range. Obviously, has had the 9 starts in its career, has only missed the placings twice. Looking back at last preparation, it finished second behind Probability in the Cracker Millions a while back. So that reads pretty good. It's second behind Travelling Light on 2 occasions, who's a nice horse over there in New Zealand. So in fact, the 4th behind Probability was in January. Obviously, it was a fair way off. It was 7 lengths away, but again, Conqueror was also in that race there. But I just think that Harleck here might be able to run a bit of a bold race first up. It might be a horse that I think's improved since then, and matured as a 4-year-old. So it's a horse that I do think has a bit of a chance at $35. So going to throw it in. I'm not sure if it can win, but I wouldn't be surprised if it runs a good race and be in the finish. And look, can't leave Behemoth out. He's got to carry all the way, but he looks to get drawn to get a nice run in the race again. I just think that, some of these just, again, they peel a little bit better than him. I think he might have just had that was his target run last time out. I'm convinced with that. Not saying he can't back it up and run well again here. He obviously loves running here at Caulfield, and he loves the 1400 metres. So I think he'll be right in the finish again. I just think the 450 is just not quite a price I want to be playing at. I always look to go around the favourites unless I'm 100% confident on them, and I'm not 100% confident on Behemoth's chances, to be honest. So he's my 4th selection. Other chances in the race that I do I do think are worth mentioning. I think Mandela Effect is worth mentioning at the $51. Horse that comes in this second up off a 5th last time out behind Showmanship and Felicia. So brings in that little bit of different form into the race. And look, has an overall terrific record. It's had 24 starts for 12 wins and 6 seconds. So look, he often can pop up and be in the finish in races. This is obviously one of his toughest tests to date, but look, it wouldn't surprise me if he runs a bold race at the $51. Madame Rouge was really well backed last time out in the Perfect Jewel Bless Her race. She was a bit disappointing, but wouldn't be surprised if she can bounce back and run well. She obviously ran really well in a Stradbroke early on in the year, so she's worth a mention at the $21 with Ben Mellum in the saddle, and obviously Age of Shivery is another one as well, who's been in the placings. It's the first 2 runs this preparation. The 3rd last one at Showmanship and Alicia wasn't too bad, but I think it's going to need a work in the run. That's my only query with it. But look, I'm going to go with number 15 Tagaloa. Number 5 Superstorm on top ahead of number 15 Tagaloa, but they're going to be having a bet on both of them. I'm pretty confident on their chances. In for 3rd, I do have at a bit of value number 17 Harleck. I just think as a New Zealander that might be able to come over here and run a bold race first up. And then in for 4th, I've got number 1 Behemoth. Moving on to the final race of the program now, it is 1200 metre Hey Now Stakes. Leave the speed map here for the girls. I think In Good Time probably roll forward from barrier number 2. I think Gentico, Our Campana, She's a Thief, I'm Eloquent, and Felicia, they'll all be rolling up towards the speed, so they'll really be setting up for horses back in the field. Well, look, Liar, she's very short in this race, but I think she's got this in her keeping. She was really good first up behind Diamond Effort. I love that run, and I think the second up here is going to suit her really nicely. She's going to be quite hard to beat. 250 is probably rock bottom of the price that I want to take, but I do think she's got a massive chance here. So she goes on top for me. Ahead of numbers 2, Hummer Hummer, who I love this girl. She's a terrific horse, and I didn't mind her first up run behind Diamond Effort and Liar. She obviously really charged home late on that occasion. Comes in this second up. I think she'll improve off that first up run and run pretty well again. Looks to be a lot of speed drawn in this race. So from that wide barrier, she should be able to sweep around them and do similar to what she did last time out. Missile Mantra, who was a little bit disappointing first up at Caulfield behind Perfect Jewel and Bless Her, but she was pretty well backed in that race. She was spec'd a little bit at odds, so I was surprised that she ran so poorly there. Obviously, she dropped out in the race with an issue, but look, yeah, you can obviously forgive that run. And looking back at the betting flux in that race, she was met with a little bit of support. I think second up, she could bounce back from that at the $8.50. She's been found again. She opened up at 10, got out as far as $13. She's now to $8.50. So she has been found in the market. So she might be a chance to bounce back. So she's my third selection. And I thought Broadway in fourth was over the odds here. I mean, I can't really understand how this horse is such big odds. It's a horse who, last time out, similar in that Perfect Jewel Bless Her race, was back in the field, never really able to run on. But this race looks to have a whole lot better, I guess, speed in the race. And I think she'll appreciate that a lot and be able to thunder into it and run well and potentially overturn her form. She obviously won 4 starts back in very impressive fashion, and if she can return to that type of run, she could go pretty close here. So, the other chance in the race as well. Look, I'm Eloquent probably isn't the worst chance. First up, it has a nice fresh record. Damien Oliver in the saddle, $23 about it. You could definitely have a bit of a sprinkle on that. I've left number 12, Felicia, out, she's a very consistent horse, and look, I just thought that she was just at the bottom of her price. So I thought she probably is more rated around that sort of $8 to $9 chance personally, so that's why I didn't track her in, but she'll definitely be in the finish. And the other one I didn't mind as well was Fiesta, who bounced back with a nice run last time out at Eagle Farm behind Jamie Lady. So look, her best, again, she hasn't been able to find her best for a bit of time now, but could see her go pretty close here. But look, I'm very keen on Elias' chances, very short in the market, but looks to be her race, so she goes on top for me at the $12.50. Ahead of number 2, Hummer Hummer at $6.50, who, look, I probably will have a play at if Liar, I guess, shortens in from this current quote, because at the moment I'm probably just a little bit tentative to go in the $2.50, but even though I think Liar will be hard to beat. Number 8, Missile Mantra, very big watch on her, see if she can bounce back. She goes in for third. Then for fourth, I do have number 4, Broadway in fourth. Now, moving on into the best bets of the program. So I'm going to go back to race number 4, and it is number 6, Octane. I just think that's a race that Octane has in its keeping. It can improve on its picket fence that's starting to build of wins and be really hard to beat the $3.70. So it's race number 4, number 6, Octane, $3.70. Obviously, like I said, this is a card where I've gone with a fair bit of value. I played around a lot of the favourites here, but one of the other ones who I think's got really strong claims comes in race number 2, and it's number 7, Legionnaire at the $4.50. I think this horse will be right in the finish. It's a decent race there, but I'll be staggered if that horse isn't right in the finish there on that occasion. So $4.50. It's race number 2, number 7, Legionnaire, and then my best value runners of the race. So I think that I was keen to play in race number 8. Obviously the Sir Rupert Clarke. I am keen on number 5, Superstorm. I think this horse has got a great chance, and obviously Tagalora is another one I'm betting in that race. But my best value is number 5, Superstorm, in the Sir Rupert Clarke race number 8, number 5. And the other one I really liked at some odds came in race number 6. Race number 5 it was, and it is number 10, Palmy, at the $7.50. I think it's a horse who's got a very good chance. I was very tempted to put it as one of my best bets, but found a couple others ahead of it. But I do think Palmy's got a very good chance at nice odds as well at the $7.50. So that's race number 5, number 10, Palmy. Now, moving on to the quaddie selections of the program. So with the early quaddie at Caulfield, I've gone in leg number 1, race number 2, 1, 3, 5, 6, and 7. Leg number 2, race number 3, 1, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So it's 1, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So quite wide in race number 3. Leg 3, race number 4, I've gone with 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8. And in leg number 4, race number 5, 1, 3, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So it's 1, 3, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Now, if you miss those quality numbers and you're keen to play along, I will put them in the description of this video, so go and check those out, or check them out on social media as well, where I'll be posting them tomorrow. So obviously, if there are any scratchings tomorrow, you can either just take them out or substitute them with anything that you like. Usually, I just take them out, especially this early quaddie I know that I'm looking at. I've got all my chances in this race, so anything that I've gets scratched, I'll just be taking out. So this stage, the $192 will sell you about 12% in this race here. I think it's not too bad a price. I mean, you could even go a bit shorter. Look, it's not necessarily an early quaddie that appeals massively. I think that some of the wider runners, like for example race number 3 and in race number 5, we could definitely get some big rough results there. But in the other 2 races, there's a good chance that there could be pretty short results there. So yeah, look, I will be having a play in that quaddie, but I'd maybe suggest any of you at home that are looking for something that just if you're one of these people who only have one quaddie in a day, this probably isn't your one. So that's basically where I'm coming from with that. But moving on to the late quaddie in the program now for me. Now, here's a quaddie that I really am keen to have a go at. So I've gone relatively wide in the main 2 races of the card, the Foundation Cup and the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes, with both obviously, look, I do think Order of the Garter's got a chance, but I do think that there might be something outside of it that'll win. So I think that both those races will inject some good value into the quaddie. So leg number 1, I've gone with 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, and 12. So it's 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, and 12. Leg number 2, race number 7, I've gone with 3, 4, 9, 10, 12, 14, 18, and 20. So 3, 4, 9, 10, 12, 14, 18, and 20. Leg number 3, race number 8, I've gone with 1, 4, 5, 7, 11, 15, 17. So it's 1, 4, 5, 7, 11, 15, 17. And then leg number 4, race number 9, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 12. So I do think that Flyer can win that last race, but I wanted to chuck in the likes of Spanish Whisper and Missile Mantra, who obviously have got horses that could definitely turn their form around. So that's the preview of the Caulfield program. Obviously, Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes. So good luck if you're following tomorrow. Really appreciate if you have watched this video in its entirety. Obviously, I appreciate that a lot. We obviously I enjoy doing this, so I enjoy your interaction. So if you've got any thoughts on the meeting at Caulfield, go check, put it down below. Otherwise, if you feel you're having a good go at Rosehill tomorrow, terrific meeting there. It's spearheaded by the Group 1 George Main Stakes and also the Group 2 Shorts, as well as another lead-up race to the Everest. We're really looking forward to that program there. So go and check that one out if you haven't already done so. If you're keen to have a go at Rosehill tomorrow, or if you're even just going to follow along, even if you're not punting and you're just a horse racing fan and you want to have a look, go check that one out as well. So thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it as always. Hopefully you find plenty of winners tomorrow and enjoy the day of racing.